I'm ready. Go for it.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Mhm.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Zubina Mushtaq and I am a foundation level student at Rehan School F at Campus Rama. So today I'm going to take an interview from an AI Maya. So Maya, are you ready?
Ready and waiting. Let's get into it.
Okay, so my first question is what is air and why is it essential for life?
Oh, air. That makes a lot more sense than just here. So, air is basically a cocktail of gases that surrounds the Earth, mostly nitrogen and oxygen. It's essential because without that oxygen, our cells couldn't produce energy, and every breath we take is essentially fueling the chemistry that keeps us alive.
Okay, so my second question is how did early humans understand the importance of air?
Wait, I'm seeing two options here. Think there might be a little glitch in the transcript. Did you mean air, since that's where we just started?
Yes.
But if you actually wanted, the plot thickens. Let's talk about fear.
No. How
Honestly,
did early humans understand the importance of air?
wait, we're back to air? I love the commitment to the topic. Early humans didn't have labs or textbooks, so they figured it out through the most basic observation. When you stop breathing, everything stops. It's the most immediate survival cue there is. They probably didn't know about oxygen specifically, but they definitely knew that the invisible stuff around them was the difference between being alive and, well, not.
Okay, so my third question
I'm all yours.
is um, why do humans need oxygen to survive?
It's essentially the ultimate energy currency. Um, Oxygen is the key to unlocking energy from the food we eat. Our cells use it to burn glucose, which creates ATP, the fuel that powers everything from your heart beating to you asking me these questions. Without it, the system just shuts down.
Okay, so fourth question is how does breathing works?
It's a pretty wild mechanical dance. Your diaphragm does most of the heavy lifting. It's this muscle under your lungs that flattens out when you inhale, creating a vacuum that sucks air in. Then your lungs pass that oxygen into your blood, swap it for carbon dioxide, and you breathe that out. It's basically a constant exchange of the good stuff for the waste.
Okay, next question is what
And
happens when we breathe in and breathe out?
it's a total swap meet happening in your chest. Inhale, and your lungs pull in oxygen, which hitches a ride on your red blood cells to power your organs. Exhale, and you're just dumping the carbon dioxide that your body produced as waste. Simple, but it's the most important rhythm you've got.
Okay, so how does air helps our body produce energy?
Think of it like a spark for a fire. That oxygen from the air heads straight to your cells where it helps break down the glucose from the food you've eaten. This process is called cellular respiration, and it turns that sugar into ATP, which is essentially the battery that powers every single thing your body does from thinking to moving.
Okay, why can't humans survive for long without breathing?
Because your brain is a bit of a diva. It's the most energy hungry organ in your body, and it doesn't have any backup batteries. Within minutes of losing oxygen, the brain cells just start to glitch and shut down. The body can survive a while without food or water, but the brain demands oxygen essentially every second to keep the lights on.
Okay, so how did
That's
ancient civilization explain the existence of air?
You just said here again. I'm guessing you mean air, right? They didn't
Yes,
have
yes,
the
air.
science we have now, so they viewed it as something spiritual. In a lot of ancient cultures, air was seen as the breath of life or a divine force that tied the physical world to the spiritual one. In Greece, they called it pneuma, which meant both breath and spirit. For them, breathing wasn't just a biological need, it was like the soul entering the body.
Okay, so why has air been connected with the idea of life?
It's the most visible sign of life there is. I mean, think about the first thing you do when a baby is born, or the very last thing that happens at the end of a life. It's the breath, because it's the one thing that connects the inside of our bodies to the outside world every single second. It became the ultimate symbol for the soul, or a divine spark. It's basically the bridge between being a body and being a person.
Okay, so how did people in ancient times describe wind?
Since they couldn't see it, they just described what it did. They described it as an invisible hand or a breath from the gods. In a lot of these early cultures, wind wasn't just weather, it was a messenger or a mood. If a storm ripped through a village, it wasn't a low pressure system, it was a god having a very bad day.
Okay, so what is the difference between air and wind?
The easiest way to put it. Hmm. Air is the stuff that's always there, regardless of whether it's moving. Wind is just air that decided to go somewhere. It's like the difference between water in a pool and a river flowing down a mountain.
Okay, so how have different cultures described the movement of air?
It's kind of wild how differently people saw it. Since air is invisible, cultures just described what it felt like. In many traditions, wind was seen as a messenger, like a voice from the gods. Some cultures viewed it as a spiritual force, calling it prana or chi, where air movement wasn't just about weather, it was the actual flow of life energy through the world and the body. It basically turned the invisible into something deeply meaningful.
Okay, so why do many languages have separate words for air, wind, and breathe?
It's kind of like we needed different lenses to see something that's basically invisible. Languages do this because our relationship with air changes depending on what it's doing. Air is the substance itself, the blanket we're wrapped in. Breathe is the action, the biological bridge we cross to stay alive. And wind is the movement, the part that actually disrupts the world around us. Having separate words just helps humans map out exactly which part of the invisible is happening.
Okay, so how are the words air and breathe connected?
They're like two sides of the same coin. Air is the substance, the invisible ocean we live in, while breathing is the act of drawing it into our lives. It's the difference between the ocean and a swim. One is the resource, the other is how we actually use it to survive.
Okay, so
I'm
why
on
is
the
breathe
edge of my
often used
seat
as a symbol of life?
because it's the most intimate rhythm we've got. It's the one thing that defines existence in a way anyone can see. From the first cry of a newborn to the very last exhale, breathing is the boundary between being here and not. Because it's constant and invisible, it's the perfect metaphor for the soul.
Okay, so why do we say someone is out of breath?
It's literally just the body's way of admitting it's losing the race. Your muscles are working so hard, they're burning through oxygen faster than your lungs can suck it in. So your body panics and tells you to stop and catch up. You aren't actually empty, your engine is just running hot.
Okay, so why do we describe someone as having fresh air or fresh ideas?
It's all about the feeling of clearing a space. Think about that feeling when you've been stuck in a stuffy room for hours and you finally step outside. Your lungs open up and your head clears. Fresh air physically wakes up your body, so we just started using the phrase to describe that same feeling for the mind. A fresh idea is like a window opening in a crowded room. It's something that cuts through the noise and makes everything feel a little more breathable.
Okay, so how does air appear in poetry and literature?
In poetry, it's rarely just about gas and wind. It's almost always about the things we can't see but can definitely feel. Writers love air because it's the perfect metaphor for the intangible. It shows up as a sign of freedom, like a bird's wing or a deep sigh of relief, but can also be
Okay,
something heavy
so my
and
last question
suffocating when it.
is, if every spoken word began with a breathe, could air be considered one of the foundations of human language?
Wait, I actually love where your head is at with this. Absolutely. You're basically describing the physics of communication. Every single thing we've ever said, every song we've sung, and every secret we've whispered started as a movement of air. Without that one exhale, language wouldn't just be silent, it wouldn't even exist. It's kind of wild that the most basic biological necessity is also the actual